Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you are well and that you are feeling suitably hoovified because this is Doctor Who Legacy. My name is TheAdipose and I will be here for the next hour with Lee from TinyRebelGames, and we shall be doing some gossip, some gameplay, and some giveaways. Well, hello my friends, how are you doing? It is Doctor Who Day here. In fact, quite a few of these days have been Doctor Who Day recently here on the Adipose, TV. We've had, let's think, we had the Doctor Who Legacy stream last week. We had a bonus Doctor Who Legacy stream on Sunday to celebrate Season 5. And me and Clary did a different Doctor Who game on Monday, Doctor Who The Adventure Game, which is like 5 years old now. So it's just been Doctor Who-tastic here for the last week or so. And I do thank you, all of you that have been here enjoying that with me. Now let me go live. Which means that you, my friends, are now earning 1 Addy Gold every 5 minutes, which we're going to be using in the giveaways later. Now, let's talk about those giveaways, because what we've got coming up is, and I'm not sure I can entirely believe I'm saying this, so I'm going to do it very slowly using the power of my finger. 4 fan area codes to give away. Okay, so that's fan area codes, the bit that you normally have to pay to get into. We're going to be giving 4 of those codes away during this stream. So if you aren't one of those people that's been unable to kind of pay to get into the area, or you're just really desperate to get in there, you're going to have 4 of you are going to have the opportunity to get in during this show. On top of that, we've got a massive code for all of you. The TinyRebelGames announced this a little bit later, earlier on. It's a code that has, let me just double check so I get this one correctly, it's an unlimited code for 2 of each colour fragment. So every single colour fragment, there's 2 of them in there, and it's an unlimited code. So as soon as we put it up, you can all put that into your game, and you can all enjoy some wonderful new content courtesy of the wonderful chippy chaps from Doctor Who Legacy. On top of all that, on top of the giveaways, I'm going to be giving you a bit of strategy, because we talked about last week that Toclafane level. I'm going to be giving you my team of the week, which I think is going to be a bit of a kind of a regular feature in our giveaways, and we're going to be joined by Lee a little bit later on as well. If you haven't yet followed the channel, just looking at people's names popping up at the bottom here, if you want to be successful in any of our giveaways tonight, you've got to be following the channel, so make sure you have clicked that ASAP. Right, let's get cracking with some strategy. Okay, now last week we were having fun with that Toclafane level, and if you were here, you'll know that I kind of sucked at it and I failed to get through it. Although I tried my best. But thanks to you guys who have been chatting to me throughout the week, I have now completely mastered it, and I'm going to show you tonight how a good few ways to beat it. The easiest way to beat it is to have a character on your team that has a time bomb. The most obvious one being Porridge, because you unlock him. Everyone unlocks him very early on. He's a 100% drop. Now, all we're going to do to beat this Toclafane is just go very, 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 very fast and get to that ability and set it off. The reason why Porridge is so effective, whereas other characters are ineffective, is because his time bomb seems to ignore the defense which has been put there by the rest of the defense rating that's been put there by the rest of the characters. So let's just come on here. So here's let's just grab a suitable team here. Yes, I suppose this one will do. Let's take out River, add in a spot of the old Porridge, and we'll get cracking. And I'm going to show you a few things with this little Toclafane level. because I've actually found it quite useful now. It's the one that's called A Very Sontaran Christmas. Like, it doesn't actually have the word Toclophane in it at all, and it doesn't actually mention that it's a time attack, because this is the problem that a lot of people are having, is that they didn't cotton on to the fact that it was actually a time attack, and a very, very fast one like that. If you've been on my YouTube channel this week, you'll have seen how I managed to get through it, but I've been kind of practicing on that one since. But the problem is when you attack this, no matter what you attack it with, each character only does 1 damage. His defense rating is just that high. So what you need to do is hit it. I mean, there's 2 ways of doing it, basically. You either want to use a time bomb, which is the easy method, or you want to hit him with as many different characters as often as possible. Doesn't matter how much damage those characters do, because they all end up doing 1 damage. So whether it's like a really high level character or a really low level character, it doesn't actually matter, because all we're actually looking to do is to hit him with any character once, because the way the maths works is it has something in it that basically means that it always does a minimum of 1. So if you look there, you'll see as I'm attacking this guy, everything is only doing 1 damage. It'll be like a couple of thousand or odd, but on the character. But when it actually hits the guy, it's only gonna be a 1. Doesn't matter how many combos I get. Doesn't matter how many bonuses I get. Doesn't matter what kind of like spooky special additions I get on it. It does 1 damage. So all we're doing is we're going really, really quickly to get to Porridge's ability. It doesn't really even matter if I line up these gems or not, although it's kind of nice to feel I'm doing more damage. Right, Porridge's ability unlocks in 2. So again, we need to go nice and fast. And you can see the enemy's health is coming down, but it's not there yet. Now this one should now unlock Porridge's ability. So I'm going nice and fast. So I'm going to keep tapping Porridges. We're going to use the ability. So that bomb is going to go off. I think it's in 4 turns, or might be 3. But either way, we're just going to go really, really fast. Really, really, really fast. I'm tapping the gems with my finger, so I can, as soon as they actually start moving, I can grab it straight away. So I'm just tapping really, really quick. There you go. As soon as it comes to my finger, I'm moving. And as soon as Porridge's bomb goes off, look at that! There we go. 7 seconds left, because the bomb went off and basically the Toclophane went boom. Does that make sense? So it doesn't actually matter whether you've got high level or low level characters. You're going to be doing decent. You're going to be doing the damage you need to here, because it's the bomb that actually finishes this character off. Now, just to finish this strategy section off, though, I've got something else that I want to show you here, because I'm going to go in again. And you might be thinking, hang on, we just saw this, but look at this. I'm going to pick a different team this time when I set this up in advance. I am going to pick a team with lots of low level characters. Okay, and Porridge. And I picked the second Doctor here, and my second Doctor I think he's on rank 2. He might even be rank 1. I'm not sure. He's very low rank. And I've got Porridge and a bunch of low-level characters. Now, why have I done that? Well, think about it. These guys all do. I don't actually need high damage to beat this guy. I just need Porridge. So we actually finish a level in Season 5 really, really quickly and get a load of XP for it. So this is the perfect level to level up some of your brand new characters that you've been unlocking through Season 5 or through codes or whatever and things like that. So I'm going to take this team in here, they're all low level, just got Porridge and a bunch of other characters. The only problem is you've got to kind of go through this text at the beginning, but I'm sure, as Lee will say in a minute, they are looking to put in a skip button at some point if it isn't kind of in already. And again, I can just use exactly the same technique again. The only slight asterisk I'm going to put on this is that you need to have enough health to survive what the Toclophane is going to throw at you. Okay, because if you see those, he's giving me a whack. And I have to be able to have enough health to survive the whacks he's given me. So I did initially try this with a large group, or with all like level 1s, to kind of see what happened, and I got killed. The reason I got killed wasn't because of the damage issue, it was because actually my team just didn't have enough health to survive the attacks that he was kind of putting at me. And you'll see here as I get the black lines that these guys are still doing damage. You'll notice here the whole team will attack, and they're all going to hit him at the same time. but they all end up doing one damage. So again, all we're looking to do here is to keep our healing up as we go through, but we're looking to get to Porridge's ability as quickly as possible, and hopefully I'll get there because I have been talking a little bit, so if I do run out of time, but we should be okay. We should be okay, and we should actually be able to level up a whole bunch of these guys really quickly. There we go. So there's Porridge's ability activated, and again we just want to go really fast to get that bomb to go off. By the way, if this completely fails, then sorry, actually he's about to attack me again. Hope I survive. Oh, just survive, and actually he's going to attack me next turn. Oh crap! Need to heal. I don't think I can. This might be the worst demonstration on earth because I might be about to lose. Oh no, I didn't! Hooray! It was not the worst demonstration of them all. It was actually an excellent demonstration. And look at this, This is why we're doing it. Look at all that leveling up. Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Almost everyone on my team leveled up. So if I just play that level a few times, with a few characters, it's going to be a really fast way, because they get 15,000 XP for doing effectively something that took us 2 minutes. Which is pretty cool, isn't it? So that's going to take them up to a higher level far faster. Does that make sense? Nearly died. Was a little bit dramatic, but that's okay. That's okay. Right, let's bring bring Lee C from TinyRebelGames into the stream. So if you guys could please give a nice Adipose posse welcome to Lee.
Hello.
Well, greetings, Lee. How are you doing?
That was a massively entertaining demo we just did. That was fun to watch.
It's good, but it's a really nice way of leveling up characters. I'm going to use that with all my level 1s from now on, because it'll just... Unless I find a better level to do it in. But it's very cool. If any of you guys have some questions for Lee and or me, best way you can do that is to do !question and then your question after it, and it'll appear in a different part of my screen, and I can even put your question up on the screen while we are answering your questions. So Lee, what's up in the world of TinyRebelGames this week? What's the news?
It's been a busy week. It's been a crazy busy week.
Are you near your microphone, by the way? You're very echoing and a bit quiet.
Oh no! Hello.
Something's definitely different about your microphone. Are you talking through a webcam or something?
Is this better?
It's louder, but it makes it sound like you're talking through one of those Dalek voice machines.
That's not better.
That is better. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It was user error. Could we put it down to user error without being specific? Okay. You
had the wrong headset on?
No, not far from that. But no, not wrong headset. It's been a crazy week. We launched the new version. We launched the new code. Then we launched new levels. And then we had the promo code server go haywire over the weekend because we were getting.
Oh no!
We had a really good weekend. I don't want to go into specific numbers, but. We generally get sort of X new users every month, and it's pretty stable when we're not doing anything big. We just have it sort of tick over of new users. Over the weekend, we got featured by Apple in 180 places across the world in different stores, and
congratulations! Sir.
Thank you, and a few other things like that. We had some good press over the weekend. We had some new reviews come out. Anyway, over the weekend, we did that X number that. What we normally do in a month, we did over the weekend in like 3 days or 3.5 days or something. So we had a really nice weekend.
Wow.
Have new users coming on and finding the game, because our point right now is we believe we have a great game here that a good number of Doc 2 fans would love, and we just need to get the word out, and getting version 2.0. The side effect of not just getting loads of new content to the users, but have something we can talk about to the press, and we can do a few interviews about it, and the news sites might pick up about it, and all that. So it was nice. It was good.
Absolutely. So, but you said there were some problems then with the promo code server.
Yeah, it got battered. So we had all these new users flooding on. At the same time, BBC's Facebook page, BBC Worldwide's the Doctor Who Facebook page rather, gave away the 8th Doctor. First of all, only his costume, and then we fixed that over the weekend, so it would be the costume and the 8th Doctor if you didn't have him already. but we had a lot of users trying to use that, and we had some issues, and the promo code server just went down a few times actually. We've been having to fix it up, but it should be working now. And we had to put out a new Kindle version over the weekend to fix a couple of things. So it was a crazy weekend. The team's been really busy, and then so we hit. By the time they got in first thing Monday morning their time, thanks to the amazing people helping us on support, people sending bug reports, and we had this huge list of things for them to fix. They spent the last 2 or 3 days just cranking through fixing all these bugs, and at the same time we put up this new knowledge base up on our support site, and part of that.
Yes, I had that up on the. I'll put the address back up on the screen for that. That was TinyRebelGames.desk.com. Do you want to just recap what that is if people are having any issues?
Yeah, we put it up over the weekend. It's in a very early state, but we just wanted somewhere people could go to find lots of different types of information about the game, technical information, or some gameplay stuff, or how do I play this level, or whatever else. So we filled it with a bunch of articles which were originally on the website and are now much easier to find. And the community can also ask questions and reply to questions, post answers, and things like that. So it's going to be a really good place. Up there now, yesterday we put up a list of all, or a good chunk of the known issues that came up with last week's builds, and the status and most of them are fixed. The status of them. We're hoping to get a new build out very, very quickly. I know they were hoping for Friday, but I haven't caught up with the team today. Get a new build out quickly to fix all this up and get into a much more stable state for people who are having issues.
And and the build is not a new. It's not a new gameplay thing. It's just bug fixes and making sure everyone's having a good experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fixing everything up. Although we do have stuff coming. We have. I thought this chat was just going to be, looking back at what's come out, and then it's got really crazy in the last 2 days of new stuff that is on its way that I can talk about if people want to listen. I have stuff to talk about. I didn't expect to have anything to talk about. I have a list. So Susan is. I have a very quickly thrown together list. So Susan is, the executive producer on the game. While I'm designing, she's making sure the game's being built in a real way and talking to.
Does she pay you a salary, or do you pay her a salary?
There's very little of that going around right now. We need to get more users. We'll worry about that later.
Okay, right.
But she's also our biz dev person. She's our business development person who, through her many, many years in the industry, has connections all over the place. And, when we want to talk to to Amazon, she has a connection there, and we have a rep there, and she has feelers out all over the industry. So the last few days have been really interesting of opportunities that have come up. And one of them, I can't remember, have I talked about a kids version before on this show?
You have not talked about a kids version.
It's something we've been playing. We started talking about this, or thinking about this about 3 weeks ago, right before it got super crazy with Season 5. And I actually wrote this huge letter that Susan was going to post to get comments from the community, and it just never went out because it just got really, really crazy here. And then, quite suddenly, the idea is this. Certain devices now have kids areas, like Samsung devices. They're sort of walled gardens for kids to play in on your mobile device, on your tablet, on your phone.
Yeah.
But there are very strict rules for what should be in there. It can't have in-app purchases. It needs to be just a single download. It needs to be, very kid-friendly, etc., etc. And we started playing with the idea of maybe doing a kids version of Doctor Who Legacy because, the gameplay is very accessible by all ages. There was Susan saying, somebody's 3-year-old beats that Toclafane level and they posted a video about it.
Yes, apparently they beat it before I did, and then they tweeted me to prove it.
So I think, at the core of the gameplay, when it's not Season 5 levels, is very accessible to small children, but everything else isn't. So we've been playing with the idea of what if we strip everything out and make this 99-cent game that you can give to your kid, and it's just, 20, 30 levels of all the really friendly characters, but we frame it in a way, we write a new little storyline, but it's framed in a way it's like a kid's book. It's like, hey, I'm the Doctor, and the 11th Doctor pops up. And this is my TARDIS, and the TARDIS joins the group. And here's my friend Amy, and we fight these robots called Daleks. And, you fight some robots. And And then, he regenerates. Hey, I'm another Doctor because, I've looked different over time. But it's really like written for 5 and 6-year-olds as an introduction to Doctor Who. But then they get to play with this really, fun little core mechanic.
You could do it with the Sarah Jane Chronicles, because obviously that was like supposed to be like the kids' version of Doctor Who.
Yeah, but this is sort of the purpose. The purpose of this is very, very different from that. It's much, much younger, because if 8, 9, 10-year-olds could easily play Legacy. I've seen my relatives do it all the time. It's incredibly accessible at the low end, but where it isn't accessible is the very, very low end. The sort of place where you put kids in these walled-off gaming areas. You have a 5, 6, 7-year-old, and you're out at dinner and you want to play a game and you don't want to go all over your phone, but there's this walled-off game place. You go, oh look, here's your games. Go in here. They can't buy anything. It's all very safe, and accessible and appropriate.
You do realise, though, if you start a kids' version of Doctor Who Legacy, then the people will also start begging for the adults' version of Doctor Who Legacy, like Torchwood style, with loads of like F-bombs and stuff like that. And you're opening quite a can of worms.
So anyway, this was.
By the way, for those of you that haven't seen this stream before, anytime I ask a question that Lee doesn't like, he just ignores it and carries on talking.
Anyway, or because I'm going to completely lose this plot if I go off on some tangent with you right now. Because we're doing an hour, right? So I have to talk quite quickly. So we're nearly halfway through, and I got to talk about.
Sorry, you go for it.
Right, kids. That was the idea of Kids Area. We do something super cool because we get emails also every so often, and from people saying like, "Is there, you're going to do something more appropriate for kids?" And then we started getting approached by hardware manufacturers with like, "Hey, we have this sort of special area if you want to do a kids mode version." And then I'm just going to be very careful when I'm talking about future stuff like this. I'm going to be careful not to talk about who it is or anything like that, because even this level of transparency with the community feels a bit creepy anyway, in very scary, not creepy, in sort of I could say the wrong thing and it could all fall apart quite quickly, which is why I don't have a scotch with me today. On the side, there's no scotch.
or a BBC producer.
Oh, well, he may be listening. I'm just being very careful. Yeah, it's even worse. Susan's not in the room to shout at me or give me one of those stares she gives me. So a major hardware manufacturer approached us, and said, "Do you want to do this?" And we could, if you can do it really, really quickly, we have this big launch coming, and you can be part of that launch and get some more visibility for the game. So this might be a thing that could possibly happen. I'd love for it to be some really fun story thing in there, and the BBC hasn't been talked to about this much yet. They know it's a possibility, but the specifics I'm giving are very much sort of in my head right now, so don't bank on anything. But we think it's really cool that this could be a thing, and it could open up, not just the game and the sort of the fun of playing games, but Doctor Who to a new audience. This would be something very, very accessible you could hand off to a young child. It's safe and fun, and it's pattern matching. It's good for kids' brains. I've got to think that this sort of stuff is good for, pattern matching is really good for brains, because there are so many pattern matching games out there for kids. Educational pattern matching things. There's got to be some good thing in kids' brains. So that's been one thing that's come up over the last few days. It's been crazy busy, and we're really excited about. Any questions on that, since I've been rambling?
You haven't been rambling at all. It is time for our first giveaway. In fact, someone actually made the same point as I did about you could frame the kids' version like Sarah Jane Chronicles. Small Blue Monkey is being wonderfully sarcastic and asks, when will Addy be switching to the kiddie version? Thank you, Small Blue Monkey. Where's the button that removes all of your Addy gold? But I don't think there's any other questions on that one just yet. When would you like to give out this big code with loads of crystals? Would you like to do that towards the end or in the middle?
Do it now. People can listen to your wonderful voice as they type in the code on their tablets. Do you have it? You have it, right?
I do have it. I discovered it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a magical code courtesy of Leanne Susan that will give you 2, is that right, of every colour fragment. These are the fragments that you use to upgrade and level up your characters.
Yeah, we did this before, and it was super popular because people, really like leveling up alts in the game, so we thought we'd do another one of these this week.
Absolutely, it was awesome, and also having a code that's not like a competition as well. I think competitions are great, I love them, but it's also lovely to give a little prize to everyone for coming along. So here is your code. Let me try and put it in a place where you can see it, and I will also paste it into the chat as well. So this is a code that will, I think it works until It's a few days you've got to enter this in, but you're welcome to go and enter it now. There we go. I'll paste it again into the main chat. I'll read it out. It's ZMDNFPJHUXFGSPDZ. I'll leave it up on the screen, and so hopefully you can see it there. Scribble it down on a bit of pen and paper. Couple of fragments. If you could possibly pass your thanks to Susan and Lee in the chat, I'm sure they would appreciate it, and you can enjoy, hopefully, leveling up at least one of your characters later on with the crystallis that you have been given. This guy that I'm attacking keeps sucking all the power out of my yellow crystals, so I keep attacking him with yellow crystals which do no damage whatsoever. which makes me sad.
So while I was talking, I was pacing around the room. I wasn't actually watching what you were playing. Is that Forest of Death?
It's Season 5, Level 4, whatever that's called.
Yeah, one of the early ones, yeah.
Christmas trees!
So other things, should I keep talking? I should keep talking. Let's have a look.
Yeah, go for it. What else is new?
The team's been working for a while. We haven't really talked about this because it was sort of still coming together. But we've been trying to put a daily bonus system in, like lots of games have, because we don't think we think it would only make the game better. You know, a lot of these conventions of free-to-play games are pretty horrible, and we don't really follow them and don't put them in the game because we want to play the game we want to play. We want to build the game that we want to sit there at night and play. But the daily bonus thing is sort of interesting, and it does a lot of good things. People, come back day to day. It's good for getting people back and with something real to give away, and and you get free stuff. So it seems, since a lot of our users log in every day.
When you say daily bonus, you mean one of those ones where they log in every single day and it's almost like a kind of a loyalty reward, that kind of idea?
Yeah. So every day you log in, you get a time fragment, and every few days you get a time crystal or something. It's all coming together. But we got an email this morning that the system's nearly completely finished and ready to go. So you might see that sooner rather than later. So I thought I should mention.
Boom! Headshot! 3 Christmas trees in one go. I thank you. Sorry, I am listening to what you're saying as well, but I also just got 3 Christmas trees in one shot, which was obviously more exciting, so I had to yell.
And now I've just tried to, I've tabbed over, and I'm watching you. Now in about 25 seconds time, I'll see you kill 3 Christmas trees. Oh, there we go. What was that, 30 seconds? Nice.
Something like that. Celebrations and jollity. Huzzah, indeed, says Anthony. Sorry, Lee, do come.
So anyway, so daily bonuses might be coming really soon. I don't know if they're trying to cram in this week for these new builds for these, but I wouldn't be surprised since they were talking this morning. So we'll see, and that could be fun. We'll see how that comes out, if people like it. Oh yeah, we did a bunch of interviews. There were a load of reviews over the weekend. I don't know if you follow, everything we post on Twitter, because we're pretty prolific on Twitter. But a bunch of people wrote some really nice reviews. It was a really nice weekend. There's a lot of love out there.
Yes, I saw you posted some stuff up. So it's nice that there are still sites out there that haven't reviewed you yet. So it's kind of a continual stream rather than like it was released and then it's ignored. It's nice.
Or you can see it another way: that when we launched the game, nobody covered us, and we've had to fight tooth and nail to get any bit of coverage we can, which is much closer to the truth. No major gaming sites really covered us when we launched. It's been really hard.
I was going to ask, have you been on any of the big ones yet, like GameSpot, IGN, and things like that?
No, nowhere near them. We've hired PR teams to try to get us coverage, but the coverage we're getting from mainstream game sites is really quite rough, and we've tried, but luckily we did some more press around version 2 launch, and we got a little bit of mainstream press, but we got a lot of new reviews from smaller sites, fan sites, which is they were really kind, really nice reviews, and they made the weekend, because when you're in the middle of bug hell and all you're getting is support emails of like, I hate you, I hate all of you, over.
Look, I only send you those emails because it makes me feel better. Okay, that's the only reason I do it. You don't need to take them personally.
Yeah. So that was nice over the weekend.
So guys, in the stream, what we need to do is something known as trolling, and we need to head over to IGN.com and GameSpot, and we need to just generally kind of stir things up there until they start reviewing the game. Okay, thanks. There you go. Sorted it for you. Sorted it for you.
If perchance any of you are writers for any websites, let me know. So anyway, we did a load of reviews, and we did some interviews as well, because some people came to us and asked to do interviews, and one of them was amazing. It was brilliant. It was Susan set it up, and it was some kid for school, like a school newspaper in England, for his high school or something. And she throws me on Skype, because I was like, oh,
was this some snow joke?
I'm not sure, but I spent about an hour and a half talking to him, and I think he's about 12 years old. He was really young, but he was the fiercest Doctor Who fan, and he knew everything about the show. It was amazing. He just kept referring to all this canon stuff and just nailing the names and places. And when he said, like, you know, I've collected every one of your characters and leveled them to 40, and I've seen every episode of Doctor Who, I'm like, I'm not doubting that for half a second. It was great, but it's really fun doing these interviews and answering questions. So we did a lot of that earlier in the week, which was nice. And so if anyone wants to hear any more ramblings from myself or Susan, there's been a few posted on Twitter over the weekend in the middle of our millions of posts.
Yeah, no, I saw them. Good. That does sound fun, and you know, like we've kind of said many times, you know, Whovians are very dedicated and they know their craft. So you know, you got to be careful with your plot lines because they will call you out.
They will, and they should. They should. Anyone involved with Doctor Who in this sort of capacity should really, yeah. You should be held to order. You should demand to be held to a higher standard when it comes to the universe. So, other big...
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
sorry.
Sorry if I can just cut... we'll cut to commercial in a second. Okay. I just wanted to point out that I've been trying... I realised during the streams I've been quite static with my teams, so I am going to make more of an effort in these streams to vary up my teams to kind of show you some different strategies using some different characters. I'll just kind of go through what I was using there. I probably should have done that at the beginning, I'm sorry. But that was a red and yellow team. And I had the awesome War Doctor with his brilliant stun and damage abilities, which are brilliant. I was using Rory the Handbot was upping the damage on my red gems. Winston was changing reds to blues to reds, which was meaning I had a constant feed of red gems. Alex has an interesting ability. Alex Thompson, who's I think he's George's dad. He was turning the black gems to pink, which is quite cool. So I was trying to get rid of the wasted gems. And then the Ood was adding more damage to the yellows, and Church Bishop was just there because he's got a nice kind of kick. He's got a good, strong damage. So we're just a two-colour team, and we don't really in trouble anywhere during that level. So just a good, solid amount of damage being pulled out by both of those colours there. Alright, now when we come back from commercial, we're going to be giving away 2 fan area codes. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back in 60 seconds. Hey guys, welcome back. Right, let's get started with our giveaway. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give away 2 fan area codes now, and we're going to give away 2 fan area codes later. Lee, do these fan area codes come with a couple of crystals as well? I can't remember. They normally do, but I can't remember.
These ones actually don't, because I've stolen them from a different pile. But I'll tell you what. I do have.
Do you have some crystal codes if people are already in the fan area?
I do. So let's say if you're already in there, I'll just send a pack of crystals over instead.
Okay, so what if you win? Then you need to tell us if you want the crystals or whether you want the fan area. What we'll do is we'll do one giveaway now, which is just going to be you just need to say a word and everyone gets one shot. And then towards the end of the stream, we'll do a giveaway which is for Adigold. So the more you've been watching the stream, the more chances you have of picking up those codes here. So this is so we're going to have 2 winners from this, and you're going to win either a fan area code or a bunch of crystals, your choice. The fan area, if you don't know where it is and what it is, you normally have to pay to get into. So this is a pretty magical code that you can only only really get on these live streams. This is the fan area down here, and you get sneak peeks of levels. You get a bunch of characters that you can only get here, and they're 100% drops. You only got to complete the level once. There's some extra time crystals in here, I believe. There is a higher chance of time fragments dropping, and soon to be a whole new plotline in here, which Lee has been talking about, or I assume he's been talking about over the last time. So it's a great area to get into. If you don't win tonight, all you need to do to get into the fan area is go to the store and buy yourself a bunch of crystals, and I think it needs to be 6 time crystals or more in one transaction, and the fan area will unlock for you. But if you're unable to do that or haven't done that, then you can win yourself one of these one of these codes right now. And all you need to say, if you want to get into this one, as I'm just looking at crystals on my board, is just say the word crystal. Just say the word crystal. Okay, just say the word crystal. Don't put anything before it, don't put anything after it, no punctuation, and you must be following the channel. Okay, otherwise the bot will not pick you. Remember, there's going to be 2 winners, and you can choose whether you want a fan area code or whether you want a whether you want the crystals. Well, I'm just watching all the people saying crystal go flying up. We have hordes in here. I'm sorry, Lee. Would you mind repeating? Are you back? Are you back?
I am here. I'm here.
So would you mind repeating what you said just while we were off stream there? You said you were watching one of our other streams the other day.
Oh yeah. And I forgot. Was it called Doctor Who: The Adventure Game? I thought it had a subtitle.
It's Doctor Who: The Adventure Game, City of the Daleks.
Because didn't they release like 5 of them? 4 in season 1 and 1 in season 2 before they stopped?
Yes, I believe you are
okay.
right.
I didn't realise they were connected under a name. So it's called the set's called the Doctor Who Adventures, and then it's the first one is City of Death. I think.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was getting a bit confused. Yeah, it was fun. The banter between you guys was very funny. It looks like a fun game. I think I've played this before on the PS3, a little bit of it. Did you? How much did you play after that?
We are hopefully going to play it just as a live stream, so we won't play it off stream.
Oh, cool.
But we realised over the Easter holidays, or through chatting to you guys, not Lee, but you guys in the stream, just how many of you have found this through the Doctor Who legacy stuff. I guess in my head I'd kind of thought that some of you were here because of the Simpsons live streams I do, some of you were here from the Doctor Who streams, and some of you were here from other stuff. But actually the vast majority of you, it seems, which is great, are from the Doctor Who legacy stuff. So me and Claire have decided that we being massive Whovians ourselves, we need to kind of up the Doctor Who related content. So we had a look around and found the adventure games, and obviously they're a few years old now, and if you live in the UK, they're actually free. You just go to the BBC website and you can download them. If you're not in the UK, you have to buy them on Steam. But they got some pretty decent reviews. Do you mind if I ask you a slightly controversial question? Lee?
No. My connection is being horrific today. In case I drop out, I don't know if it's any good on your end, but the delay on here is horrible.
It's fine for me. I was thinking, because obviously the other Doctor Who game I was playing is now quite old, so it's not in any way or shape or form like the other Doctor Who game out there or anything like that. But I was wondering, kind of like, do you regard yourselves as having kind of any competition at the moment? Because obviously there's other gem games out there, and I think there's a couple of other Doctor Who games out there. I mean, do you kind of, in quotes, look at what the opposition is doing, or do you feel kind of unique enough that there isn't really competition? It's just more about getting kind of the word out.
Oh no, we think we're so niche. A gem game plus a Doctor Who game is so amazingly specific straight away that we see ourselves as totally unique. We never discuss other Doctor Who games. Honestly, I don't know if there are any out there that have just come out or in production or what. We don't track that stuff, and I haven't played anyone else's gem game for a long time. I tend to during development of a game, my rule generally, and it has been for many years, is if I'm working on a certain style of game, I won't play another game in that certain style of in the same sort of genre. So during development, the day we sat down and sketched out, Susan and I, the first one page on Legacy, we stopped playing gem games, and I don't think I've played another one. I've played one since, because this has just turned into a live game, and development is just ongoing. So we tend to try to make our game better by only playing it and making it better rather than looking elsewhere and trying to just go, we're going to take that. the daily bonus thing is more of a convention of the genre more than anything at this point.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't play a certain game and go, that's what we want to do. It's just everyone does it. So it's really weird when people, you know, I've played 3 levels of Candy Crush, I think, total, and that was because you sort of have to look at it. So unless it changes massively later in the game, we get lots of emails of people just going, "This is just a clone of Candy Crush," and I just shake my head. I just can't get my head around it. It's so bizarre. So it's a weird being part of a space and not playing those games, you know, as an active part of my job or my hobby.
No. Good answer, and thank you for the extra detail there. And it's cool, and I thought that was kind of what it was, because there is no kind of obvious competition, and I think you got, like you said earlier in the stream, like the thing you tend to work on never seems to be beating, one-upping anyone else. It seems to just be like audience recognition, or getting the word out there, as you often kind of put it. All right, guys. Right, let's see who our 2 winners are for this fan area code. Good luck to everyone who has entered. I'm just going to close that raffle right now. We have had over 150 people enter to try and get themselves some fan area or crystal lovin'. Remember, you need to tell us whether you want the crystals or whether you want the fan area code, and you'll need to say that pretty sharpish, because Lee we're sending your code via Twitch message very, very quickly. So good luck to everyone. Let's start the old tombola as it goes flying past. And our first winner is... Oh, yeah! Dalek Freak. That's an awesome name, Dalek Freak. Congratulations, you are our first winner. Could you ASAP please tell us in the stream whether you want crystals or whether you want fan area? And our second winner is... Oh, yeah! Dadras still. Dadras... I can't pronounce that. Dadrastill. I'm going to go with Dadrastill. Dadrastill, congratulations. You are our second winner. You also need to let us know whether you want a fan area code or whether you want the crystals. Congratulations to both winners. But don't worry, we'll be having a second giveaway in about 10 minutes' time. Also for the fan area code, but this will be using Adigold. So over the next 10 minutes, check your Adigold to see how much you get. You'll be picking up one every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes or so. God, you can tell I've got a headache. I keep stammering over my words. My God, sanity is leaving me. All right, bit of a new feature here. I want to show you at the Adipose's Team of the Week. Yeah, that's right. I did cheesy titles just because I can. Because one of the things I've noticed that we haven't done so much over the last few streams is we've been talking tons about the game, and I love the game, and the game is always going to be the central part of these live streams. But I'd like to get a bit more kind of episode chatter in there as well. So I thought what I'd start to do is, during each stream, put together a team based around something kind of plotline based in the game, and have a bit of kind of role-play type thing go on, rather than just kind of straight what's the best team. And this is my team that I've put together today. This is it. Okay, this is my team. I tell you what, I'll leave it up on the screen. I wonder if you guys can tell me what that team is. It's not a difficult one. But what is that team? Why have I put that team together? In fact, Lee, do you want to have a go at this one? My team is 11th Kalara, Handles, Tem Rashar, whatever her name is, a Silence, and Amy.
Is that something to do with the Day of the Doctor?
Absolutely.
Can you hear that pinging? Yeah. I
can hear that wonderful little pinging noise. Is that you playing the piano?
Sorry, Susan for some reason has the house phone routing through her Gmail or something. I don't know. Something's going on. It's all fixed now. It's nice and quiet here now. Sorry.
Time with the Doctor, not Day of the Doctor. Oh my God! Look at them! Look, they all got it. They all got it straight away. Did you get everything you needed to know from our two winners about what prizes they were?
I did. I was about to. It took me about 5 minutes to scroll through pages trying to pick their names out. We need to find a better way of doing that. There's a message or something.
But, so congratulations to you two. But yeah, this is my Time of the Doctor team. I've put together all of the characters that were in that particular episode. So I've got the 11th, I've got Clara, who's obviously the assistant at the time, I've got Handels, who he kind of carried around, I've got Tasha Lem, who was kind of like she was kind of an enemy, kind of a helper at that time. She kind of went down the middle. And then I've got the Silence, who of course were on the same side there, and I've got Amy as well, who did a little cameo at the end. Now, one alternative way of doing this team would be to take out Amy and to put in the other Silence, because there's two Silence in the game. There's the Silence and then there's the Silence Priest. So you could actually have the Doctor kind of going with a little army of Silence. And I do know that there was a plan at one point to have more Silence in the game for different colours. Is that still something that's on the cards?
I believe, yeah. I believe 5 Silence have been built, one of each colour. I think only 2 have been released so far. Is that right? Sounds right.
So yeah, I think it's 2 at the moment, which is Black One. So the only problem with this team I've got at the moment in terms of gameplay, obviously from a character point of view, this is cool because you've got it's the Time of the Doctor team. But the only issue here is that Handels' ability turns black into yellow. So putting black team members on the same teams as Handels feels like a little bit of a contradiction. So what I might do, just to round this out from a gameplay point of view, just so it's mainly plotline, but just with a little tweak, is if I take out Handels and stick in Amy instead, then we've got a team which is kind of a little bit more rounded from the gameplay point of view. Like there's no kind of contradictions in abilities, if that makes sense. But as we're going kind of roleplay, then I'm going to stick in Handels, and I'm going to go with the Silence because I think these are the ones that I like. So Lee, what do you think? Time of the Doctor. It was the regenerating Matt Smith special. What comes to mind when I mentioned that? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
The show. That was what a great little segment. I love that idea, putting teams together. I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. I came up with it myself.
It's very strangely close to something I was doing earlier. I was writing some ideas for that. For the kids area thing, and I'd like a little narrative where they would go on an adventure and he'd be like, the Doctor would say, hey, once I went on an adventure with Amy and we went here, and then it would be filled up with characters from the episode. And I started actually putting some lines down for Time of the Doctor, and then I realized to fill the team up I would have to put Silence in there. And as I was flicking through all the different images of the different characters in the game, I really had I was trying to imagine a 3 or 4 year old seeing this thing for the first time. And okay, Amy's fine, Tasha's fine, very friendly, Doctor's friendly, and then you get to the Silence, and all I could imagine was these 3-year-olds just staring at the screen screaming in horror of these things on the screen. So I realized that we had to rip a lot of, if we're going to do a kid-friendly thing, you really can't do any Silence and anything related to Silence or peg dolls or the really creepy aspects of the dark side of the show.
You don't really get a nice friendly Silent. But what did you think of the episode, the regeneration of Matt? Do you think that it was handled well?
I really enjoyed it as an arc. I really enjoyed it. It felt really short. It really deserved to be. You look back at some of the old ways they would finish off arcs in the show, and it would be 2 or 3 episodes long. Nearly 3 hours of show, a big epic arc with the Master, and it felt like that regeneration episode was. It had so many great ideas in it. They had to explain everything the Silent had done and why the Silent were now different. Then they had this one line about the Bavarian chapter doing all that, and it was a little bit throwaway because they had other stuff to move on to, but it could have had a couple of minutes talking about that because that's a huge plot point. It's a massive part of this, of the overall arc of the Doctor. And there were all these really cool ideas that went over really quickly. Daleks taking over the papal mainframe. Great idea, and it turned an argument in Tasha Lem's room. When if there was more time, it
definitely felt like it needed to be a two-parter at the very least. Because I was chatting about it with Clary after the show, and I'd missed things that she'd got, and she'd missed things that I'd got. So there was obviously kind of so much in there that kind of flew past sometimes. That it was very hard to kind of process it all, and it was one of those episodes you had to watch kind of more than once. But I agree with you. I wondered if it was almost like a reaction, an opposite reaction to Tennant's regeneration, because Tennant's regeneration was foreshadowed in previous episodes. It was actually forecast by the whole he will knock 4 times and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. He was very well aware that he was going, wasn't he? And his regeneration was really drawn out, like it was about 25 minutes of him visiting every character he'd ever met. And some people loved it. I loved it, but there were other people that felt it was a little bit kind of self-indulgent. So I wonder if Moffat decided to make Matt's regeneration the complete opposite and do it very, very quickly. Even down to the regeneration moment itself was like a second, wasn't it? You know, there was no kind of arms out and yellow light blazing everywhere. It just suddenly went zap, didn't it?
Everything felt a little bit abbreviated, because as soon as you say it's going to be it was a longer episode, wasn't it? It was a longer format episode, but not that much longer. And as soon as you say, well, we need to establish this massive thing that's going to happen, and we have to end with a regeneration scene, that could easily be half of an episode. You could 20 minutes, 25 minutes could easily be a massive Doctor regeneration. And wait, so in that episode, you know, Gallifrey is foretold to be coming back. There's massive. He sets up the next season as a sort of a sketch of what's going to happen. The Doctor lives for hundreds of years. We have, and here's one of my biggest,
the wooden Cybermen and all that kind of stuff.
Loads of great ideas. Wooden Cybermen, genius. You could do an episode on wooden Cybermen. Absolutely. If there was an episode on the Doctor, Witch and Wardrobe, you could have easily. And that was, when it came to enemies, that was, you know, very shallow in enemies. It wasn't really an enemies story as such. You know, it was an environmental story. But you could do, you know, wooden Cybermen. You could easily do an hour on wooden Cybermen, and that's the. Feeds into my biggest complaint about that episode was really Clara felt really underutilized, as did Tasha Lem. They both felt a little underutilized compared to where they really should have been.
There was that very bizarre Christmas dinner thing where Clara kept popping back to go and have Christmas dinner with someone, and it felt. I've said it in previous streams that I liked Clara when she first arrived, but she feels now she's kind of lost her personality. And if her personality was someone that cooks Christmas dinner, it still doesn't feel to me like they cracked it.
If you could have removed her from that story, and it wouldn't functionally wouldn't have changed. You know, you could have had almost exactly the same story without her there, and would have given you 10, 15 more minutes for these big ideas, these big important set pieces. These, you know. Who's going to say no to 10 minutes of just setting up Gallifrey coming back? Like, what could you do with that extra 10 minutes? Just throwing out one of these really cool ideas. And although the end, you know, I had tears in my eyes when Amy Pond turned up. I absolutely did. I thought it was a loving ending to that character. But just too short.
It was interesting as well, I thought, that they... I don't know what it feels like to you, but I was on the Doctor Who IMDb earlier because I was actually looking up for characters just to double check characters that were in this episode, and I noticed that Matt Smith has done something like, I might get the numbers wrong here, apologies, something like 49 episodes or something like that, and David Tennant's done something like 53. You know, only like kind of like say 4 or 5 episodes in it, or it might have been something like 50 for 59, 62 or something like that. But either way, they're actually the total number of episodes they've done is actually really, really close. But when it felt that Tennant left and you saw him going back to see all those characters, it felt like Tennant had this huge bank of characters he could go back and visit. Whereas I didn't necessarily feel the same thing with Matt Smith. It felt like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's just, you know, I think Russell T Davies and Moffat have very, very different, had very different goals, you know, with those big storylines. The 11th feels very personal. You know, even the end of the world is still because of him. It's because of the TARDIS. You know, all these big stories, they're still incredibly personal stories. But if you look back at the big arcs of the Tennant episodes, you know, the Stolen Earth, that's, you know, 10, 12 planets. You know, this is a story that arced a galaxy and had really nothing to do with the Doctor. It was, you know, it was a Davros plan, but it let you do all these things, and that, you know, it felt much more epic on this very wide scale, where, you know, a galactic war could break out. You know, these big epic things. Where on the 11th Doctor, it's all very, very personal. You know, the River Song arc, all the Silent arc. That's an incredibly personal story of his friends having a child who's then used to take him down. That's a very personal story, the sort of which you don't really have in the David Tennant era outside of, you know, they're in there, but not as epic as they were in Amy and in Rory's sort of life and the ending there.
You could take that idea even further, actually, because if you think about Amy, the whole purpose of Amy is that she's the girl who waited, isn't she? The girl that waited for the Doctor. So her whole plot line is based around the Doctor. and Clara is the girl who saves the Doctor, so her whole character is based around the Doctor. And like you said, the whole end of the universe thing was caused by the TARDIS. So almost every major Matt Smith plotline, like you said, is based around the Doctor, whereas Tennant's tend to be based around whatever that particular enemy is, or that particular threat to the universe.
Gallifrey's coming back, and what do they put? What's their announcement? Is the Doctor's name? How more personal do you want to get when you're launching the next little season? Anyway, that's sort of my opinion. Is I think they had very different goals, and they both feel very, very different because of that. But I think the one downside, I guess, is when you look at them side by side, the 10th does feel more. Why the Ood? There's a whole planet that he saved, a whole civilization. That's a big arc. He told through what, 2 episodes or 3? Possible planets, Satan Pit and Planet of the Ood, I think, are the sort of the cornerstone of that. But still, there's a huge launch of a new alien race.
Yeah, there's more kind of characters in there that you can go back and kind of visit. I'm not complaining about the Smith era, just more that it's very different to the Tennant era, and you can see it through it, and you saw it even in the Regeneration episode that Moffat's approach is different to Tennant's, and I guess that's why there are some people that favour one over the other, because the whole kind of shows get built that way. Alright guys, we have got 2 more fan area codes to give out, and these ones are going to be for Adigold. So you probably want to check your Adigold right about now. To do that, you need to type !Adigold, and I'm going to just open the raffle right now. This is going to be... So there's going to be 2 winners for this, and just like the previous one, you can choose if you'd like a fan area code, or whether you would like a bunch of time crystals from Lee. You enter this in the normal way if you've been to these live streams before, and to do that you need to type !raffle ticket and then the number of tickets you want. And 1 ticket is 1 Adigold. So if you check your gold first, !Adigold, if you've got 50 Adigold, you could buy up to 50 tickets. And obviously the more tickets you buy, the more chance you have of winning. However, it might just be that 1 ticket that wins. In fact, those of you that were on my Simpsons streams on Saturday will know that my unhelpful brother entered one of our giveaways and won with just 1 ticket, which was thoroughly yes, he did. But yes, and the other thing, of course, is you need to make sure you are following the channel. If you're not following the channel, the bot will not pick you. Otherwise, I don't control who it picks in any way, shape, or form. We're just going for a quick commercial, and you guys enjoy entering the giveaway. See you in 60. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You have got about 2 minutes to get into this giveaway, all right? So you have got... to enter, you need to do !Raffle ticket and the number of tickets you want. You can see other people doing it on the chat, so just have a little look if you're not sure how to do it. And our lovely mods here, Hughes of Blue and Laura, will help you out if you've got any questions. So just ask if you're not sure how to enter it and they will help you out. But make sure you're following the channel, otherwise your vote, as they say, will not count. Now, obviously, as we're starting to wrap up our little stream here tonight, let's just do a few bits of news. Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, and Twitch accounts. Make sure you're following us. If you want to know when we're streaming or when all the latest news, I'm Twitter /TheAdiposeTV. Doctor Who Legacy is sorry, not Twitch, Twitter /Doctor Who Legacy, I believe, or at Doctor Who Legacy. And they actually have a weekly newsletter as well, which is fantastic, and you often get little previews for codes and things like that on there. If you head on to the TinyRebelGames.com, I think is the website, and there on the front page there's a way that you can sign up to the newsletter, and Lee often writes these wonderful kind of big bit load of information, or kind of state of the game addresses. I like to picture him there with his little podium and maybe a small and kind of talking about what you think of yourself that way as well when you're doing this. Hello everyone, friends.
No. I write it in a smoking jacket.
Lend me your sonic screwdrivers.
A cigar.
So you do it with the tweed jacket.
Yeah, and a cigar with a bottle of scotch next to me, with a roaring fireplace and a little.
And a dog laying by the
fire, and maybe like a Christmas tree, but all the ornaments are like little Daleks and TARDISes. That's.
And then you lean back and say, "Hello, friends."
Yeah. So next time you read one of my long letters, imagine that me next to a Christmas tree with a dog.
So if you haven't yet signed up for the newsletter, it's always a good read, and there's often little giveaways in there, and of course there's often as well a lovely little reminder for this little stream right here. So did I get that address right, Lee? TinyRebelGames.com?
I believe that's right. Yeah, Susan writes it every Thursday morning. It's her Thursday morning routine. Cup of coffee, and she writes it in the newsletter. So yeah, it's nice. It's a fun thing. Sign up.
Okay, so do go and sign up for that. In regards to me as well, I do a Simpsons tapped out live stream on Saturday nights, which you're welcome to come to. And at the moment, I've been streaming loads and loads of Terraria, which if you enjoy that, you'd like to come up to. In fact, did you know, Lee, that there is a Doctor Who mod on Terraria?
I did not know that. Oh, what are we doing?
There is.
Okay, we need to do a Doctor Who Terraria live stream, one off. Set it up. We'll do a multiplayer. We'll get the four of us on there, and we'll do a Doctor Who Terraria. We have to.
Okay, I'll set it up. I think we have to use a slightly older version of Terraria, but there's ways we can do that. But it has all sorts of cool things, like you can travel from like Earth to Gallifrey and things like that. And I think I haven't played it yet, but I read about it. But it's something like when you die, you come back as the next Doctor.
Amazing!
How awesome is that?
Let's play that.
So okay, we'll do that. We'll do it at some point, but I'm sure that'll be great fun. Anyway, so Lee, anything before we kind of wrap up and we have our little giveaway and stuff? Is there any other bits of news you'd like to share with the community? And we'll take a few questions as well before we finish as well.
So next week, one thing I'm really pushing on. There's two big things on my plate right now. One is sorting out the next big content push, which is season 4, and that's slowly starting to come together. What that looks like. But the other thing is trying to rebuild the fan area. We really, as quickly as possible, we want to get something in there, something new, something cool, and ideally something with a storyline that could be fun. So I started sketching out a story, and it looks like the plan would be something like we release a rebuild of the fan area. We'll give notice, a couple of weeks' notice. We're going to clear the fan area out. It won't exist as it is anymore. So if new users want to get hold of it, they'd have to grab it, get in and get all the stuff out of it. But then we would replace it with the first arc, the first chunk of the story, which would be about 5 or 6 levels, and then every Thursday we'd release 2 more levels for 3 months as we build out an ongoing 8th Doctor story set in the Time War. Is sort of the plan right now. But hopefully next week I'll have more to talk about with regard to that. But it is moving quite quickly.
You didn't just set up this whole elaborate scheme of making a Doctor Who game just so you could write more plot lines for the underutilised Paul McGann Doctor, did you?
I should just say yes to that, shouldn't I? All the time. It sounds more interesting if I just say yes to that. That's exactly my.
It just feels that every so often you just come up and go, hey, I've got this great new idea, and it just so happens to be a plotline all based around the 8th Doctor. Really? Well, how shocking!
The way I look at it is sort of. The 11th is obviously the core star of the main game. At the beginning, it launched off him, but then the other Doctors come in and then have their moments and things. But as we do new things, it would be great to look at other Doctors. To do a little arc of the 3rd Doctor or 4th Doctor or whatever. Someone pick one and do a bit of an arc. Do it somewhere. Like the fan area. Maybe the fan area is where we do it. And I always find it easier to write for what I know. And it was very easy to write the 11th Doctor stuff because we just finished his arc. I've seen every bit of TV that the other Doctor's been on many times, and I'm very informed on his character, and I think I can write about him. And the only other one, who's your Doctor, Addy? You would write him, wouldn't you? Because you know him. You think you either do or don't, or you think you know him better than other ones, or at least something appeals to you from that character. And the 8th Doctor has the other massive advantage is he's my favorite Doctor, and he doesn't really exist that much in the universe outside in real canon. He's very underrepresented. So you can sort of, but he has this. He's in the middle of a war, so it's quite easy to write for in a high level. It's doing breaking into a Dalekanium refinery in the middle of a time war. Here's a nice sort of setup for backstory, and then you get to write the character. With what you've got, but you get to have a little bit more freedom with him and the sort of things he goes through. Because sort of.
I'm just a little bit concerned that he's had more lines in the game than in total than he actually had in the entire show. But it's cool. But it's like you said, it's a bit like those additional like comic book adventures or the Big Finish adventures. Like you do get more information about the characters and more adventures than you saw on the TV show. So if you are a mega fan of either Doctor Who as a whole or a particular Doctor, you can go and find out more about their adventures. And I was reading the other day about Ace, who was one of the Seventh Doctor's companions, and she there's a whole canon for her in comic books, I believe, where she goes off and has her own adventures and ends up kind of being like a kind of saving the universe in her own way, which is great. So I think whether it's a computer game, whether it's a comic, whether it's an audio adventure, it's lovely to have other outlets for these characters to have cool adventures.
I think, as the TV show is obviously very strong, but I think that the attitude to the expanded universe that BBC has is great, and really, they foster this amazing expansion of the stories of the Doctor outside of just the TV show in a way that not all companies do. Some companies, through first-hand experience working on a Star Trek game, a lot of companies don't like that open, the involvement of other parts of the community, whether it being professional, commercial parts, or through the fan areas, through fan sites. But BBC is great. There's so much out there, so much great stuff. I've been reading over the last few days the Prisoners of Time comic books. Have you read those?
I have not.
It's 12 part. It's 12. I guess it was about a year old. I think 2 years old. And each comic book is a tale of a Doctor's tale. So it starts with the first, then it does a second. It's the first Doctor story set in the London Underground. And at the end of each tale, I believe, I've known it for the first two, the companions disappear. All the companions of the Doctor being swept up through time, and then they have to or the Doctor has to go and free them at the end in the final episode, in the final issue. But I think that sort of stuff's amazing, and then one of the reasons I love Doctor Who is because you can jump around in these different types of media and have a really cohesive experience, because the structure of the show allows for it. He can go any way he wants at any point, as long as you know canon, you can fit something in somewhere that makes sense and use the characters who are around. You're in a really good place to start writing something really fun and cool if you have any imagination.
Absolutely right. We've got a giveaway to finish off, so let's get that done before we continue talking Who. If you haven't yet entered, I'm afraid it is now too late. So because I am closing that raffle, we have had over 8,000 tickets sold, and we're going to have 2 winners tonight. So if you have bought yourself a load of tickets, then hopefully you've got yourself a double chance for your name coming up. Now remember, if you win, you do need to let to know. Oh, I've just noticed that lots of people have been quite excited about me mentioning Ace. Well, I might as well just get my request in for Ace while we're talking, Lee. Just if you at any time, just chuck a leather-wearing, baseball cap-wielding, demolition expert into the game. That would be great. What was I going to say? No, gone. Just rambling. This is your fault. I'm talking to you too much.
I think it's your headache.
So we've got 2
I think you're slowly like having a stroke or something live on air.
That would be the worst live stream ever. That would go viral very, very quickly. Anyway, first of all, before we do this little giveaway, I just want to say happy Anzac Day to anyone who's watching here from New Zealand or Australia. I believe it's your version of what we call Remembrance Day over here in the UK. I don't know if America has a similar one, but a happy Anzac Day to you guys if you are around. And we're going to have 2 winners here, and you need to let us know if you want the fan area code or whether you want the crystal. So if you let us know as quickly as possible, and then Lee will get you whatever prize you desire. Good luck to everyone who has entered this competition, and our first winner is... Oh yeah! It's Detective 400. Congratulations, Detective. Now, Detective is a regular view on the Adipose TV, which is fantastic, and she often tweets out little messages, little things that we do during the streams, any little funny comments we make. So she's got an awesome he or she. Sorry, I'm not a bit confused on the gender. Too many girls around. She often has a wonderful Twitter account, and if you follow her, you'll see lots of little funny things that happen in the chat. So congratulations, Detective. Our second winner is... Oh, yeah! Labradite. Congratulations, Labradite. Part dog, part rock, all winner. Congratulations to you, and you can also let us know whether you want a time crystal or whether you want a fan area code. Congratulations to the both of you.
I can never find them. I think we should break the can't write in caps rule. If they're asked to talk to you, they can write in caps so you can pick it out on these live streams.
They can. Detectives, if you're looking at the one on the screen, Detective's name is orange and Labradorite's name is yellow because they have used some of their Adigold to buy themselves a nice colour. If you wondered why some people are in colour below here, it's because they used 30 Adigold to get it. Labradorite says that they would like crystals, please.
Okay.
Detective, yes, sorry, girl, yes, Detective, you need to let me know. Need to let us know. Detective has decided that telling me her gender is more important than telling us what price she wants. I like that line. I'm going to use that again. Part dog, part rock, all winner. I like that. I'm going to use it many times. Right, I've got a Santa to finish off while we wait for Detective to tell us what they want. So no Susan today? Is she out being producer-like?
She is out being producer-like, yeah. Come on, Detective, type faster. I'm going to send something randomly.
Yeah, just send her a photograph of yourself.
Okay, well, if you see a pop-up, you let me know. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, I will tell you. I'll be able to see it easy because it'll be a bright orange, so I'll tell you when it comes. Oh, there we go. Got a nice little red crystals on gems on the screen there. I've just thought of the ultimate product placement. You should make sure you should request from the BBC that one of the new Doctor Who adventures of Peter Capaldi involves defeating the enemy with some sort of gem matching game. Or
really subtle product placement, like the Doctor starts playing Doctor Who Legacy while on a mission against the Daleks.
Something like that, maybe just Clara sitting there on her iPad going, really, we have to save the universe now, I'm playing this excellent game. Or, I don't know, or maybe just like a load of like floating crystals in the air. They could get it in the air, so it's not like on an iPad, but it's like floating crystals in the air, and the Doctor realises that, by matching up various crystals, the universe is saved.
Like I think he's hacking into a machine, and the interface is just a gem board, and then the computer locks some of the gems. Oh, they're locking us out. And then it sounds less terrible, but really terrible in my mind from what you're suggesting.
And then all of his other companions come in, and then obviously they attack in the same way they game. See, they get the script's practically right.
It is. It should. Why aren't we writing Doctor Who ourselves? We should be doing this.
I think maybe we've just asked and answered our own question. Our own question there. Detective is carefully not telling us whether she wants...
It's saying everything but what we need to hear. Oh well.
I think it is going to have to be a photograph of yourself by the fire with a pipe, because just for taking ages to answer the question.
See, when I first talked to you about an hour and a half ago, you said you're like, I've got such a headache, we can't do this for long, and I thought we were going to try to do an hour, and now it's an hour and 15, and you're still suffering through this. You're a trooper.
I'm quite macho. People often don't, don't notice.
Do you know why that is? It's the facial hair.
Is it the facial? My facial hair is awesome. So have you not noticed that the facial hair changes from week to week depending on if I can be asked? Detective has asked for the crystals.
Okay, cool. I'll get that.
So we're actually giving out any fan area codes today.
I think it was 2 and 2. I think.
2 and 2.
So that's the week. The week has been fixing bugs, and we'll get a new version out in the next few days. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That'll go out straight away for Android and pretty much straight away for Kindle, and we'll go into approval on iOS on Apple, which will hopefully be turned around very quickly. I would answer some of the bugs, guys. If there's some, when you're playing the game and all the gems turn white, that's a bug, and amazingly enough, we know about it, and it has been fixed on our end, and we'll get it out. It was a shader bug, if anyone cares. It was some weird change to iOS 7.1 or something that changed some of the rendering system. And
oh no!
Oh yeah, honestly, I know, it's terrible.
I just got blapped by a Santa.
Is that the technical term? Does that come up on the screen when it happens?
Well, blapped.
Because it should. I'm going to make that a note of things to do.
Addy got blapped. Right, well, that probably gives us a nice point to end this particular stream here, guys. Thank you so much for coming, and massive congratulations to our 4 winners tonight. But of course, we're all winners because we all get to have 2 crystals. So make sure you have put the code, which is at the top of the screen in the middle, into your game. because you will be getting yourselves 2 extra fragments. Sorry if I used the wrong word earlier. To upgrade your character, which is awesome. So thank you so much for TinyRebelGames there. So same time next week, 8 p.m. we will be having another Doctor Who Legacy live stream, giveaways, gossip, gameplay. If any of you've got any requests for our strategy section or any ideas for our for my team of the week, do let us know. And what we'll try and do is have a team of a week and then talk a bit about the episode that particular team kind of came from, which I think would be quite fun and cool to be doing. Obviously, I'll be doing. Don't forget to sign up to the newsletter for Doctor Who Legacy. That's over on TinyRebelGames.com. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter if you want to know what I'm live streaming. I do lots of Doctor Who related stuff, but other bits and bobs as well. We have a lovely community that you can get involved with here as well. Lee, any final thoughts or things that you'd like to pass on to the audience?
No, don't get too frustrated playing Season 5. I saw a lot of anger earlier. There was a lot of disturbance in the Doctor Who force while we were chatting before the start. It's hard. It's supposed to be hard. We're gonna start. We're just trying to look at the analytics and find out how hard our average player, likes the game through the feedback of them, smashing their controllers and throwing their phones across the room.
Hard's good. Hard is good. I mean, I haven't died apart from that one time yet.
It's it should be tough but doable. It really shouldn't be punishing. And then the Toclafane one was too early to have something like that fight. That's why we adjusted. Like something that complex early in the season, it was never intended to be that hard.
But it was. But once you realised how it works, it actually wasn't tricky. It makes people think.
Yeah, it was just too early in the season for that. Third level, have something like that in it. It's just too early on a sort of global design perspective. You should have that early in the season.
Maybe you could have one of the doctors whose role it is to always break the fourth wall, who always talks directly to the player and kind of goes, "Okay, think it through." a bit like Deathstroke, or so, just completely ignores knows he's in a game and just kind of talks about what you need to do at this particular.
Was
point.
it Civilization?
Awesome.
The tutorial, had the game designer pop up and start talking through the tutorial, completely break "Hi, I designed this game. Why don't I walk you through the mechanics?"
But it would be quite cool. You're not thinking you're putting yourself in the
I
game.
should totally do it. I slide on "Hey, I'm going to explain how to play this game now."
Hi, my name's Lee, and
in my smoking
I'll
jacket,
tell you about a game
my
called
little
Doctor Who
canine
Legacy. Yeah.
little canine laying on the floor next to me. Yeah.
Alright, boys and girls, we are heading off. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I'm going to play a few adverts. If you're still here in a couple of minutes' time after the adverts, I will give you 5 bonus Addy Gold to help you with your giveaways next week and also throughout the other giveaways we do. Thanks so much for coming. Massive thank you to Lee for joining us to be our expert witness. You have always, as always, have been fantastic. And you know what? So was I.